Welcome back to another episode of For the Lads, and we're very gracious to have Lee Priest back on the podcast. It means a lot.
Thank you.
We've had
Looking
a little
blurry,
bit of,
but I'm here.
we've had a bit of technical difficulties, and Lee's all blurred out, but it's the best we can do. I'm just going to blame Facebook.
It's probably better for some people to look at me that way anyway. So.
I thought I'd start with the fact that, obviously you've been over the States recently.
Yeah.
I just thought
I was over there for a big fit expo, so it was good. Caught up with a few mates back in the day, and then did a video with the Tren Twins, and then I did one with Larry Wheels and that. So nice. Quick trip, but my next trip should be, I think I'm going back to the Arnold Classic in Columbus beginning of March, and then maybe the Arnold Classic UK at the end of March.
Nice.
Yeah, they've got a few trips to the USA this year, in Mexico, and then Rome, and then June back to another expo in Nashville. So a lot of traveling this year. It's like, which, I'm a homebody, so traveling is like, it's good because you get to see friends and people and stuff. But when you're a homebody, sometimes just the stress of packing to go to the airport, driving to go to the airport, and then that long flight, because we're, I said, Australia's a great place to live, but nowhere's close.
Yeah, no, that is true. That's so true. How is it doing all that traveling? Like you said, you're a homebody, but you get to see all around the world, and you get to meet a lot of people that appreciate you.
Yeah, that's the only upside to it. It's like one of those things. Like, I hate the traveling, and that takes so long, and with the sciatic still, it's not the most comfortable trip, but, once you get there, I'm okay. It's just getting there. So if Elon Musk or, Branson can come up with a new supersonic jet or a teleport machine, it'll be great. Because I said, once you get there, it's fine. But the going there and coming home is always like, I start stressing about it a week or so before.
Any places you've been to that particularly stand out for you?
I don't know. I like going to England or Rome, anywhere that has like a lot of history to it. Because, Australia, we don't have jack shit, even though didn't they say the Aborigines were like the oldest race on Earth or something? Or
well, I know they're at least 10,000 years, right?
Yeah, well, we've been here 250, and before we came, there was no fucking like Roman Colosseums or pyramids or fucking Great Wall of China or anything built. So so stop your fucking complaining, cunts.
Just appreciate, yeah.
Exactly. You had Michelangelo painting the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah.
He was on the roof, and we had some idiot tracing his hand in a cave. Fuck off.
But apparently white people have no culture, right?
No, and only white people are racist, and only white people own slaves. Yeah. I heard it all yesterday on Australia. I mean, Invasion Day, wasn't it? Yesterday, whatever they want to call it. It's like, why is it when I was young, it didn't matter? I had Aborigine friends. Like, everyone just got together and had fun. Played in the streets, went down the park, had a barbecue. There was none of all this division, and I think I might have mentioned it before, but the media just plays so much part in all this hate and division where, people are just on their phones 24/7. When I was young, I think you got the nightly news at 6 o'clock, and that was, unless you got the newspaper in the morning that your dad or grandfather would read at the kitchen table, you wouldn't really hear much of the news. But now, because everyone's on their iPhones or their phones all day long and computers, 24/7, every minute of the day, just all this feed shit popping up, whether it's about stuff in America with ICE and this and that, or who you voted for, or some other race. And it's like young kids in their minds are just filled with all this bullshit 24/7. No wonder their minds are fucked up and hating on each other over the dumbest shit. I'm like, God, can't you see this? Like, just seems like a plan, the old divide and conquer. We're just too busy fighting. We're fighting amongst ourselves over the dumbest shit that we'd never normally fight about. It's like ridiculous.
And while we're fighting with each other, they're stripping all of us of our rights and freedoms.
Oh, yes. Yep. And what they're complaining about they're complaining about they want more rights and freedoms and this and that. But as you said, while we're fighting amongst ourselves, they're taking all that away. So it's right. Like you get to the point you can't even argue back with them. Now it's like sometimes now you're getting scared what you can and can't post online because these new hate speech laws and that. If someone just says what they're offended or feel offended, what they can come and arrest you now. You see it happening in the UK over there. It's ridiculous what
Oh,
people are getting
bruh.
arrested for. It's like,
Yeah.
my God.
And we'll definitely get into some politics if you want, but I'll bang through some of my
Okay.
bodybuilding questions, and we'll separate into two different parts. So I noticed that when you were over there, a lot of people are calling you uncle or unk. Yeah.
Yeah, Unc. I guess that's because I'm old, and like Sam Sulek's a fan of mine, and when I see him and that, or then when I hang out with the Tren Twins, because they're young and I'm old, so I become like Uncle Lee, Unk. So yeah, I've got the name Unk.
Yeah. So, well, mate, I feel you. I mean, you got a couple of years on me, but I'm nearly 40, and I feel it already,
Mhm.
mate.
Oh yeah, I know. It's funny because I remember, and I told the Tren Twins just enjoy it because I remember when I was their age, and now it's like a blink of an eye. I'm like, how the fuck did I get to 54? It only feels like, in my mind, it feels like 20 was probably 7 years ago, 10 years at the most.
Yeah.
And like I said, when I was in Gold's Gym looking at the picture of me on the wall at 20, I'm thinking, fuck, that's almost like a lifetime ago. That's like 30 odd years ago. It's like, and it just happened so fast. It's like 1 minute I was there 20, next minute I'm back there 54. I'm like, fuck, where'd all that time in between go?
Yeah. As silly as this might sound, it's just like you've just had a handful of more years, like it's not like when you're young, you think, oh, a decade, you think more of it than what it really is. You just get a
Yeah.
few more years sprinkled in and bang,
hmm
before you know it, you're old.
I know. It is like that, isn't it? I remember my parents would say, as you get older, time goes quicker. You're like, oh, bullshit. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like, too, when you're young, too, you're probably like, I don't care if I get the 30 or 40. When you
Yeah.
finally get the 30, like, I want to get the 40. When you get the 40, fuck, I want to get the 50 now.
Yeah.
Your perspective changes pretty quick the older you get.
100%. I'm already starting to look forward to like my older years and make sure that I'm financially set up okay, and my health and all these
Yeah.
things that, like you said, when you're young, you're like, oh, fucking, I don't care if I make it to an
Yeah.
old man. But as
Yeah.
you become an older man, you're like, yeah, actually, I probably wouldn't mind.
Exactly. When you're young, it's like, I don't care if I'm young, I'll die big or this or that. Or even too, when you are young, it's like you almost think like you're going to live forever. Even like you sadly, you lose parents and friends, but even when you're growing up, you always just take for granted they're always going to be there as well. And then sadly, someone would die or a family member dies. You're like, fuck,
Yeah.
death does come and people do die. This isn't like this perfect thing where you think we're all going to be mates forever and live on to eternity. It's like people just drop off at any time, and you can lose family members and shit like that. So as you get older, you just, I think you appreciate it more the older you get if you're still around and you got people around you. So,
Definitely.
when you're young, you take it for granted.
Definitely. So I saw that you caught up with Arnold Schwarzenegger when you were over there. Obviously, he's like,
He was in Golds a couple of times each morning I was there. I got there early, but he'll come in each time. Yeah, so yeah, caught up with him and had a good chat with him a few days. And Rolf Moller, because Rolf also used to train at World Gym and that, so
yeah.
he was there. So yeah, it was good to see him. And then actually Arnold's son Joe was there, and I was chatting to him.
He
a bit
looks
as well.
amazing as well.
Yeah, so
physically, he looks great. You can definitely.
because he come and asked me about arms.
Yeah.
And I was just saying, stick to the basics, like your dad did, the high volume and all this sort of stuff. And then a friend of mine was out in the back room where he was with Arnold and that, and he heard Joe saying, yeah, Lee agrees. He says he does this for arms and that too, like you, Dad, and this sort of stuff.
Yeah, he looks heaps more like Arnold than like the rest of his sons and that
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So
More than like Patrick and that. Is it
Yes,
Patrick? No,
Patrick,
he's
yeah.
Patrick's the one in movies too, isn't he? He's been in a few of those.
I think so. Yeah, I do believe so. But because he doesn't really look a lot like Arnold. Like it's easy to forget that it's his son. Like, and no offense to him, that's not a shot. The younger son looks, basically like a Mexican version of Arnold Schwarzenegger. It looks like heaps
has
like
a jawline or that,
yeah. I thought I brought him up because I remember you mentioning how He-Man was your inspiration for bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And He-Man originally, so Frank Frazetta's artwork of Conan the Barbarian in the 60s
Mm-hmm.
is what was the inspiration for He-Man. And then
Uh-huh.
obviously Arnold played him in the movies growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So in a strange way, a painter from the 1960s inspired you to get into bodybuilding and then helped kick off Arnold Schwarzenegger's movie career. So I
Yeah.
just thought I'd bring that up.
Yeah, let's not talk about the new He-Man movie coming out.
Mate, when it comes to pretty much anything new, like there's very few things that come out that kind of interest me. That's why I
Well, like I
stick to
said, the
the old
preview
movies.
doesn't look too bad. Like some of the effects look okay, but to me, it's like Skeletor looks okay because they got him in like one of those suit type things, all blue and the muscles. So I'm thinking, why didn't you just do that to He-Man? Because He-Man, like Dolph Lundgren, okay, he looked okay, but still it wasn't He-Man. Like to me, He-Man's got to be this ultimate guy who's just like, just covered in muscles, who just looks unreal. And so this new guy they had, I think they're doing similar to what they did with Chris Hemsworth when he plays Thor. They just sort of add it digitally so he looks a lot bigger than what he really is. They can add the veins and shit. But yeah, to me, He-Man should just look like impossible to achieve. So.
Yeah. Look, I definitely think he's way too small. But I will say, as long as the movie's good and there's no,
He'll probably end up
politics
in bed with Men of Arms. He'll probably end up gay or something.
he'll get shown up by
the way they
diverse
do the
sidekick.
storylines now. The way he'll probably be they them.
Yeah.
I'm not He-Man.
Yeah, but this day and age, my expectations are pretty low when it comes to Hollywood. But like I said, like if it comes out and there's no like identity politics in there and the movie's good, I can maybe sort of turn a blind eye to the fact that He-Man looks like an average man instead of.
But like I said, if it's good action, like I said, I just want to go to be entertained. Like I said, I don't want any political messages. I don't want to have to think about anything. I just want to go see some good action where I can just turn off from the real world for a while.
Exactly. That's so true. That's so true, man. Like and it goes back to like what you were saying, like it's always on social media, you turn your phone on, you turn your TV on, whatever it is, it's constantly being drummed at you that you're either like a bad person or you've got to repent for the sins of your fathers and blah blah blah. Like, and I just want to be able to watch a movie and not have it fucking beaten over my head.
And it's all in movies now too, isn't it? Whether it's about they, them, or pronouns, or like you said, white guilt, and this happened to these. It's like they throw it into these movies now, and it's like you said, I don't want to hear that shit. I just want to be entertained. I don't want to think about the real world. I just don't want movies that have some sort of hidden meaning deep down. Just give me fucking entertainment.
Yeah. It's called escapism for a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the original He-Man movie with Dolph Lundgren?
Yeah, I didn't mind it. It wasn't bad for its time. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah. No, I liked it as well. If it was corny, but I love I love cheesy 80s movies. Like,
I know. Yeah. Well, this also that one though, he didn't have Battle Cat, so this one's going to be interesting. At least he has Battle Cat in this one. So
yeah. Oh, true.
Yeah. So that'll be different to see. And it looked, the graphics look pretty good. I guess they used some good CGI for that. And what is it? Idris Elba, is it Man of Arms? Man of Arms and that, and I forgot who's playing Skeletor. Was that
Oh, that's that guy he's got his own cult and stuff. What's his name? I know his name, but I'm blanking on it.
Yeah, I said the one with Dolph Lundgren. I liked it because Frank Langella wasn't it played Skeletor in that one, and he actually I think Frank Langella said it was one of his most favorite parts to play in out of all the movies he's done. He's been like, I think he's played like in Shakespeare things and that. He reckons I think he even did Dracula and that, but he reckons Skeletor was one of his favorite roles to play in a movie.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I enjoy it. And I quite like Dolph Lundgren, like, I always liked him.
But even his B-grade movies, you look online, there's some B-grade ones that he pops up in, whether it's just like he's a cop, an ex-soldier, or just, ex-assassin. Like, they're pretty corny, but because it's Dolph, I'll still watch them just because it's entertaining. It might be a B-grade one, but it's got some B-grade action. I don't mind. So.
And he's from that era where there was a big market for action movies and, like that's what I love about the 80s as well, is all the guys are jacked and, all the women are generally hot and in skimpy outfits. And
I started, my wife and I, what do we watch? couple of weeks ago before I went away, we went down the rabbit hole. It was like we watched, I think it could have been Tango and Cash, like, that old action one
Oh
with
yeah, that was a great movie.
Stallone and was it Kurt Russell?
Yeah,
And then we put on Cobra.
yeah,
Stallone's where who's the cop Cobra Eddie,
yeah,
and then I think it could have been Universal Soldiers, like just those old, like the old Commando, all those ones that were in the 80s, all
yeah.
those action type. Yeah, I said some were corny, some of the effects you could see the cardboard cutouts getting blown up, but it's still fun to watch.
Yeah, I love the cheesy 80s action movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always go on about it, but they're my favorite guilty pleasure. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
they don't have to be like Oscar worthy
No.
type movies. Yeah, they're just
No,
fun.
I think some of the best movies to me, sometimes when you see the ones that win Oscars, you're like, oh, that piece of shit. I
Oh,
almost fucking, I'd
100%,
rather
mate.
stab my eyes with a fork than watch that crap. But
Yeah.
but yet some big blockbuster, whether it be a Mission Impossible movie or a James Bond movie, I'm thinking these are the ones that should get to the awards. That's why I used to like they still have it, the MTV, or they used to have those blockbuster music movie awards and that where the fans vote. Because to me, that's the true awards, not these fucking people that sit around and cast their votes, actors voting on other actors on who's gonna, get the Academy Award and shit. It's like
Yeah.
vote for the fans. The fans are the ones that are paying to see this. The fans are the ones that make up their mind. So, if I got an award from the fans, that'd mean more to me than the foreign press or something,
Yeah.
give me a silly award or other actors voting on you. So it just seems too, like Ricky Gervais when he gets stuck into it about, or you glorified just coming up here praising yourself for your actors, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, that was epic. And it's a big circle jerk. And like you mentioned about like the MTV used to be really cool, and they used to actually play music. But that's just another thing that you've got to be beaten over the head with more.
But isn't
identity
MTV?
politics.
Didn't they finish now? Was it just a couple of weeks ago? MTV shut down like they did their last thing. It's
True.
not. I thought so. I thought I heard it somewhere. Somebody was saying MTV is now gone. Now they had their last broadcast or something.
Well, they've been irrelevant for a long time, so that's about time, mate.
Yeah.
They just got dragged along, because
You remember? Because I think when they said it, the show I was listening to, they started playing that "Video Killed the Radio Star" song, because I think that was one of the first things that came on MTV, wasn't it? That song.
Yeah. And then social media killed the movie star.
I know, exactly. I know. Even like, I think even the people in bands now don't they still fight tooth and nail to get royalties, or with Spotify and where their songs get played now. So
if you have a band in this day and age, like talk about the worst generation to be in, because there's some good bands out there, but like to make any real money out of it, you've got to tour, and then like now like. You can make your own music out of prompts, using AI, and like it's not bad. But you give it 10 years from now, like that's another thing with AI, right? You give it 10 years from now, this is as worse it's ever going to be. Like kids will be able to make their own bloody movies and have Arnold in there and Bruce Lee and bloody whoever they want, Hollywood's done. Like it's only a matter of time.
You won't need actors. You could just, even like you said, the computers could just make actors, have an actor that looks similar to Arnold and Stallone. And like you said, and some of the AI stuff you see now where you watch an AI movie, like, back in the day where they'd even, I think like the cartoon ones where, they have to draw a cartoon here, then the hand here, then here. So when it all goes together, the hand's moving. AI can do that just without even drawing now. You just say, give me a cartoon movie of this, and it can do it straight away where, you see people sketching, they lift up one page, look back, okay, sketch again, look back, sketch again. It'll take years just to do one movie because they're drawing every scene, every little hand movement and stuff. So now AI and the effects AI can do now too. You can save a fortune on not having to blow shit up and that. But that's where I still like the old movies like Jerry Bruckheimer and all those, where they actually use actual cars and blow shit up and actual car chases. You can't beat that in movies still if they've got actual stunts. Like even the James Bond movies still have good stunts in them. So I really like those. Or even Mission Impossible, he has good stunts in that.
Yeah, you can tell the difference.
And
like yeah, like you said, when you've got real car chases, real explosions, like the mind can tell the difference.
Oh
So
yeah.
when there's something really dangerous, it tends to put you more on the edge of the seat because you
Oh
see the
yeah.
danger. But when it's just a green screen,
Oh yeah.
explosion shit going on, it's not the same. I
Yeah.
100% agree.
Well, you watch that when those Mission Impossible, so you watched the making of them, where the one before the last one, where Tom Cruise was flying that helicopter up through the thing and that where he learnt to fly that, and then these last ones where he's hanging on the biplane, and I was watching that where the plane would turn over, it always get zero gravity, and that's where he could move in between the wings of
Yeah.
that biplane when he's hanging off it and stuff. And then remember that time he was hanging off the military plane, hanging off the door at the back, and in the making of it, it showed how these contacts in his eyes so the air, that speed wouldn't affect him, but then he's got the wire through him, but he's still hanging on the outside of this plane as it's taken
Yes.
off.
Yeah.
I said, you can't beat, like I said, when you see that one, the last one too, I think he said he did it 12 times where he rides that motorbike off the mountain and parachutes.
Mm.
He said he did it 12 times. I'd be like, if I did that once, I'd be like, that's it. I'm not doing it again. But he's such a perfectionist. He 12 times going off that fucking cliff with the parachute. It'd be like pushing your luck.
Yeah. He is a beast. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, people could say whatever like about him, maybe
Mm-hmm.
being a bit odd, but as far as like, because he's not young either. He'd be in his
60. I
60s.
think he's 62 now, I think. And
Yeah.
yeah. But don't you find it's weird that anyone that's a bit odd, whether it's like a movie actor like him or Travolta, whether they say, oh, they're queer, they're this, they're that, or even back in the day with Nikola Tesla or
Mm.
what's his name? The one that built the Spruce Goose. What's his name?
Not
Who
too
built
sure.
that big? I think it is Howard Hughes and that. Like all these people who seem who are eccentric, who are really smart, or who have accomplished so much.
Mm.
Yeah, I think they're all a little off, but I think you have to be. That's what makes them so different, or what makes them great. Even a sports person who's at the top of their top, the elite of the elite,
Mm.
aren't generally normal people. People say, oh, he's a bit strange or he's a bit this, because I guess they're wired different. Your brain's
Mm.
wired different to do whatever you do and be good at it.
Mm.
Look what I said, Tom Cruise, he's a perfectionist when it comes to his movies. And
Mm.
even that Top Gun movie they did, he had him redo that whole fighter jet scene because he wasn't happy. And I think it cost more millions and millions of dollars
Yeah.
to shoot that, but that's how he is. So there's plenty of people who, like I said, they're really good at something, or no matter what field you're in, you always get labeled, or all these rumors are about you more than if you're just a normal person, average, no one gives a shit. But if you're actually good at something, people want to tear you down and talk shit about you, no matter what it is.
Mm. No, that's true. And the thing that I do love about Tom Cruise as well, and a lot of movie stars should take note, is he doesn't shit on his fans.
No,
He just
no.
goes, hey, I appreciate all the fans, come out and
Hmm.
support us, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
and like a lot of movie stars should take note on that
Oh,
because they're not
exactly.
so divisive. Like a lot of people, like they're super divisive. Like, hey, like
Yeah.
that, I'm forgetting her name. She was in the new Snow White, like
Oh yeah, that
if you
one who
don't,
said, "Oh yeah," yeah.
yeah,
She went off the people saying, "If you like Trump, don't even come watch the movie
yeah,
and shit."
and
And
that's
Mark,
exactly
Mark,
what they
Mark
did.
Ruffalo, Mark
Oh,
Ruffalo
bro.
rubs. It's
Yeah.
like you're an actor. Shut up. And there's a lot of movie stars who just say, "Look, I don't get involved."
Yeah.
People who are Democrat or people who are Republican, they all
Yeah.
watch my movie, so I'm not going to alienate any of them. So no one
Yeah.
wants your opinion. You're an actor. Just act. And like you said, I understand if you're in private time with family at dinner and that. But if you're at a movie premiere and the fans are there, spend time, sign as much as you can, because
Mm.
without these fans, you wouldn't be where you are, type thing. So
Yeah,
yeah, you're
that's
going to have
true.
your days where you just want your alone time, but it's like me. I go out, even like yesterday. There's probably in a matter of an hour, there's probably 15 people come up. Oh, you're Lee Priest, and took photos. And my mate that was visiting is like, "Do you ever get sick of that?" I'm like, "No." I said, "Sometimes you might want private time, but you have to remember these are fans, and
Mm.
especially today, it's like, if they see someone they're happy to see, you make their day by taking a quick photo. And then the opposite, if I just said, no, I'm busy with friends right now, even though you could be polite saying that,
Mm.
they're going to be hurt and be like, fuck, he couldn't even take a photo with me. And then they'll get on social media,
Mm.
fuck him, I asked him for a photo. And he, so for the little time it takes just to make someone's day, it's not hard to do. So,
Yeah. No, that's right. Like I could only imagine what it'd be like to be in your position, but it's so true. Yeah, I mean, like without the fans, there's no there is no sport, there is
Yeah.
no
No,
financial
and,
incentive
and
for any of these
expos and
people.
expos are probably the worst because you could be at an expo from. I normally go from like even now I go from like as soon as it opens at 9 or 10, I'll be there till it shuts at 5.
Mm,
And generally you'll have breakfast because trying to eat at an expo because the line will be so long. As soon as you put food in your mouth, go have a photo. You're like, hold on, wait till I swallow it, and then I just give up trying to eat. So
mm,
sometimes fans will come at the end of the day and be like, oh, I went to see such and he seemed pretty quiet, or he just said, like, they've been standing there all day. You probably turned up at 3 in the afternoon. You've had a couple of meals. They've had no meals, and just talking to people for that long,
mm.
whether it be just a quick hello, but then sometimes you'll get people's stories about this or that, or so you're listening to them all. So sometimes by the end of the day, you're getting brain dead and tired.
Oh
You don't
yeah.
mean to be, but it's almost like when you're low on carbs and people talk to you and you're like, what? Huh? Okay. Yeah. It's like you just get really spacey. And sometimes people take that the wrong way, but it's just like you've been there all day and you
Yeah.
sort of, you're trying to give everyone the same attention. But, if you get there in the morning, you're a lot more bright as the afternoon goes on. And you're thinking, oh, I'm hungry. I want to get out of here. But you still got to be polite and nice to people. It does get tiring, but I still enjoy it. But I think sometimes the fans have to realize we're only human too. And you could even I know some people, I remember where was I once? I got a call about something and it's sort of bad. Something happened. Can't remember what it was. So now I've just been told bad news, but I've been an expert and I'm still trying to be friendly and nice to people while you got this on the back of your mind. So,
Mm,
sometimes fans just need to realize it's not them or whatever, but sometimes, people can just be going through something, but you still got to be there for the fans and put this face on. So,
mm.
and look, if someone's totally rude and like, fuck off, no, you're not getting the photo, then fine, but don't just be too quick to judge especially if someone's competing too, because a lot of guys, when they compete at things, they are depleted, dieted down and stuff. So if someone is a bit short or a bit whatever, don't take it personal because they got a lot on their mind. They got the contest on their mind. They might have the next meal on their mind. So
Mm,
yeah, sometimes I just think these days fans are a bit too quick to judge. Well, why is he acting like that? It's like you don't know what's going on in his head. So.
mm. Yeah. I mean, I think people these days are just odd in general. Like, even
Yeah.
if you just, that's why even like with Facebook or any social media, I don't really even scroll through and even look at people's comments because it could be something totally benign and people just
Mhm.
cannibalize each other.
Oh yeah,
And I don't know, people weren't like that before. Do you find,
yeah.
and you've been going to expos and
Hmm.
meeting people in person for a long time, do you notice a difference in people, in the past 10 to 15 years pre and post social media, like even just in person, or is it just mostly online?
No, it's in person. They're not bad, but in person you do get a lot more. See, without social media, I used to go. I remember just when I used to go and meet pros. I used to be that shy, be like, "Oh, hi, Mr. Platts, how are you? Can I just get this or that? Or can I take a photo?" But now, I guess due to social media, so many young kids come up for a photo, but then they'll start talking, and they've all got a fucking microphone on them. I'm like, I'd probably say 80% will have a microphone on them while they're
Wow.
filming, where they're trying to catch you say something when they ask you a question. They try and get like a sound bite from you. They might ask about someone and try, if you say something, oh, I got you on camera saying it. So
Really?
I noticed a lot of people now are mic'd up a lot,
Yeah.
but then just some of the stuff they ask about, whether it be drugs or this, I'm thinking, I would never ask somebody that. I'd just be happy to meet them and take a photo, or
Yeah.
then they come up, they're like, can I compare my arms to yours? I'm going to be Mr. Olympia. Like, have you done any show yet? No, like, well, maybe you should start small before you figure out Mr. Olympia. Why? You think I don't? It's like just some of the attitude and the egos on them now. I'm thinking, what, because you got friends that follow on Instagram, you might only have a couple of hundred. You
Mm,
think you're a big shot. So I think their attitudes have changed a lot, where there's some, I said, not all, there are some that are still polite and that, but a lot of them can be quite pushy and rude now too. So,
mm. So you find people are a little bit more narcissistic.
yes, very.
Yeah. I
And they've got to film everything too. They've got to film it all. It's like,
yeah.
just take a photo. They've got to take a photo here, then I move this way and move that way. It's like, what angle are you getting? Oh, now can we just record this bit? I'm like, bloody hell. It's like,
Yeah. Nah, fair.
Well,
Um,
they will take a photo too. This is the funniest one. We'd have our cameras back in the day. You take a photo. Now, I don't know how many times you do a photo. I just stand there and do this. I don't try and out angle anyone. I just shake the hand and do
mm,
the fist like that. And they'll go over to the girlfriend or the friend that took it. Oh, can we do another one? Then they do another one. Oh, hold on. It's like, fuck me, Dad, what, you're trying to get the right angle here to make it look good? It's like, we just used to take a photo. We have to go, when we got the photo developed, that's how it was. But now they're trying to get the perfect shot as well in their phones. I'm like, fuck, just take one photo and move on.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of inconsiderate. Not only inconsiderate to you, but all the other fucking people that are waiting for their turn.
Oh, yeah.
Like
And that's another thing too. You don't want to be rude, because sometimes you'll get people to start talking.
Yeah.
If you've got a long line, and if someone talks for a minute or so, that's not bad. But then some get going on, then they keep going on, and I'm looking at them, and I'm looking at the line. I can just figure the people in line are thinking, "Fucking hurry up, will you? Hurry up!" And like I said, I don't want to say anything. So sometimes I hope that whoever's with me might come over and say, "Oh, do you mind just moving on? We've got a lot more people." Because if I say it, I'm the arsehole.
Yeah. No, it'd be tough. Like, to be a celebrity like yourself, you're always constantly scrutinized. Like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would imagine that would be a difficult thing to do. And
Well, I got a message the other day. Someone just messaged me, "Lee, I've been going through your Instagram. Why do you have nothing on Iran on there and what's happening in Iran to the people?" And I just wrote back, "Because I don't care." I said, "Look, there's shit going on all over the world. If I cared about everything, I'd go fucking mad." I said, "I just worry about what I can control, friends and family and this." And I said, "Yeah, what's happening over there isn't good, but I'm not going to virtue signal and be like everybody else and put up a flag and put up a post hoping the Iranian people." It's like, I don't play into those games. People got mad at me because I didn't put up a black square when BLM started years ago. I'm just like, I don't play into the flavour of the month or whatever's going on. I'm me. It's like, I don't need to pat myself on the back or back. I put up a Ukrainian flag this month. Thank you very much. It's like, no, fuck off.
Yeah, and like, they've been fighting and kill each other for forever, So why do you? And it's like, were you posting about this before it was fashionable, or like only now that it,
And that's the same thing about Ukraine. The ones that are going to Ukraine, they're not doing it now. Or the ones that did BLM.
Yeah.
If you went back to their Instagram pages before BLM, none of them had anything about racism up there. And now it's over. You look at their pages now. It'd be different if they're still posting stuff about racism in stuff and this and that and equal rights, but they just move on to the next thing. They don't put nothing up now. And there's so many other bigger genocides happening around the world in other countries, but because they're not the flavour of the month, you never hear about them. You could go to some of those Rwanda countries or Somalia and Sudan and all those places where people are getting slaughtered and that sort of stuff. But no one goes on about that. So.
Yeah, because it's not popular. It's the same as, talking about slavery. They don't want to talk about, they don't give a shit about slavery that's happening right now. They want to talk about slavery that fucking happened hundreds of years ago.
And there's actually more slavery today. There's more slavery today in that than there was back then. That's ridiculous. And then, like you said, all these ones that talk about it, I think even Ricky Gervais, didn't he mention about, with your phones and your Nike shoes and all that sort of shit being made in sweatshop. So it's like, shut the fuck up. You know?
100%. It's the worst type of virtue signaling, like, because it's not genuine. And I find the people that screech the most, this is my personal experience, the people that screech the most are usually they're not as fucking nice as they pretend to be, Yeah.
I got in trouble when I said that about like a lot of Christians. About like, why are you coming down on Christians? I said, not all Christians, but I said, I've met a lot living in America who say they're Christian. But I said, if you're laying on the street, they'd step over you. They wouldn't give a shit about you, but yet they'll go on here or there. Even some famous people I know who said that, who, when something good, they're on TV, first and foremost, I want to thank Lord Almighty, God and Savior for this and that. If they win something, I want to thank God for this. It's like, but yet if you're on fire, they wouldn't even, like I said, put you out. They'll just be like, see you later. They don't care. It's just like you said, it's just what makes them look good,
So they can jump on Facebook and go, oh, look how fucking nice of a person I am. And pat themselves on the back. It's bullshit, mate. Bloody, I thought I'd circle back around to a little bit of bodybuilding. So when you beat Ronnie Coleman, he said that was one of the big inspirations to help him turn it up to another level. How does it feel to be, the catalyst to basically kick Ronnie Coleman into the next gear and he went on to become basically, a lot of people, the best ever, the GOAT,
But it's funny because when I was at the expo, I went by to see him again, and I always got behind him. I'm like, actually, this time at the Olympia, I said, your worst nightmare is here, and he's like, oh, Lee. But this time I walked up, he had a big line there. Because I never thought about it. Me beating Ronnie is just another competitor. But like I said, every seminar he does to this day, he still mentions how I beat him and he was going to retire. So when he had a big line there, he was signing photos at Yellow Expo. I just got near the line. I said, people, did I ever tell you the time I beat Ronnie Coleman? He just started laughing. And I just said, and I said to him, I said, Ronnie, I said, I know it was a hard loss in that, but I said, you should thank me for your Olympia titles. I'm the one that fucking made you get your ass into gear so you wouldn't be beaten again, and you became Mr. Olympia. He just started laughing. So
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's the truth, though. You know, he said it, and he's gone on to become arguably the greatest bodybuilder of all time.
yeah, exactly.
What do you think he changed to progress and take that next jump up? Like, I would imagine he would have already been training as hard as he can, right? Like, there would have been something.
I think with Ronnie, it might have just been time still to get that. You know, people, of course, they're going to say, oh, it was the drugs and that, but he was still, even like 97 when I beat him those, so what he says 5, it was actually 7 times, but don't remind him. The extra 2 might really fuck with his head. But yeah, it's like, even then he was big. I think it's just more a conditioning thing with him. So I think once he learned, they got that figured out, and I know Chad Nichols was helping him for a while there. I think once they figured out the formula, and then I think things just come along. I see, because he was natural for a lot of the time when he started. So even though he'd been training for a while, he hadn't been like really blasting it or trying to, go overboard. So I think it just with progression, it slowly kicked in, whereas some it might kick in earlier for people where Ronnie, it was just like a later start type thing. But yeah, I don't think he changed much, because he said he trained just as hard in that. So I think it was just getting everything, the training in check, the diet in check, and everything else in check, that it all just fell into place. Yeah.
That little fine tuning.
Yeah. And sometimes that's all it takes,
You can go from, placing in the mid of the top 10 to greatest of all time.
Exactly.
So you've been pretty open about the underpayment in bodybuilding, and basically, a lot of the top guys not wanting to stand up for the rest of the guys.
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe your ban from the IBBF is one of the reasons why they don't want to basically get involved in that? Or is it just that they make so much more money than the other competitors that they just don't want to risk it?
Well, back then it was like, it's always asking, why don't you stand up? And I say, because, if we do, we'll get in trouble. And even Wayne Demir told me once, he goes, Lee, you ask why I do what I do. He goes, because he goes, I respect you. You might say something and put it in the magazine and that, but he goes, but I'll suspend you. And he goes, and when the other guys see that, so out of 100 guys, I'll suspend you. The other 99 will do exactly what I say, which to me, it's like I was getting mad at the guys. I said, but if we all stand together, they can't suspend all of us. They won't have a fucking contest. If they suspend all the athletes, there won't be a show. But they don't, too many egos get in the way. It's like, well, if Lee's suspended, and Lee normally beats me, I can move up a place. So, yeah, that's just the way they think. So it's sad, because the sport could be so much better if people united. Well, most things in life would be better if people fucking united.
Oh, that's true.
But it's like we just, for some reason, we just don't do that. It's weird.
Yeah, but you do, though.
Yeah, I always have. I've always been that way, so I can't change who I am. And I was told all the time, Lee, just shut your mouth, go along. I said, yeah, but that wouldn't be me. Can people say, do I regret speaking out? No, because that's who I am. And I knew I was going to get suspended or pay a fine and that, but hey, that come with the territory. But at least I didn't sell out. I didn't change who I was just to fit in, or I couldn't. And I said to people, I was making good money with contracts and competing and stuff, so I was doing pretty good. I could have shut my mouth, and like I said, I was making good money, but it wasn't about me. It's about the other guys who train just as hard and, go through hell training and dieting and missing time with family. I said, if they're pro athletes at something like the Olympia and they're not getting any money, I said, that's just bullshit. So that shouldn't be happening. So it wasn't about me, because I was making good money. It's about the other guys who trained just as hard as me and competed and didn't make a fucking dollar. I didn't think that was right.
Yeah. No, I agree. And like you said, it's maybe just the way you're born. There's like certain parts about people's personality, I think, is like, it's just kind of who they are. And obviously that is that's a part of your makeup. Like you were saying, you didn't really even care too much about the trophies and that. You cared more
No,
about the experience of it, meeting the fans,
yeah, that's the best part.
getting
Yeah,
getting in a great shape. What helped you stay motivated for so long? Like, because it's such a brutal sport where you've got
hmm
to push your body to the absolute limit, and you were doing it for decades.
I think just because I started so young, it just seemed normal to me. Like I didn't really have to motivate. Yeah, some days you'd be like, "Oh, I don't feel like training and don't do this," but I think for doing it for so long, I just enjoyed doing it. Even the workouts you hated and you hated dieting, it's like part of the parcel. Because I'd always think, okay, it could be shitty doing this, but being stuck in the office from 9 to 5 could be a lot
Yeah.
worse. Where I'm sitting in a cubicle with 10 other people who I can't fucking stand, and I'm stuck there all day.
Mm.
I'd be like, fuck that. So it's hard as it was, and you have your bad days. It's a good thing to do because, like I said, if you can get paid to make a living doing something that you love and enjoy, you can't really complain about it. So,
What about in the gym? What helped you stay motivated in the gym? Because, like me personally, I always like to, maybe working up for max effort day or, hitting some heavier lifts, like obviously you
yeah,
didn't do that every training day, but these are sort of things that you maybe would look forward to and help you
yeah.
keep
But I
pushing.
just,
Like,
I just love training. So I never, like I said, I never set out for like the days I'd go heavy. I just go to the gym, whatever I'm training. If I felt good, I'd keep pushing it. When heavy, I add some more, I go heavier. Yeah, but I never sort of set out to break records or, I squatted this much last time. I got to go heavy this time. I just really listened to the body. But like I said, I just enjoyed going to the gym and training. It just felt good or something that I really enjoyed doing, where it'd just
mm,
be that hour or two in the morning and then again the afternoon. And back then too, you'd go to the gym and like I said, in the morning, you'd have Lou Ferrigno there, Arnold would be
mm,
there. Or if you're down at Goals, you'd have Flex Wheeler, Cormier, Dillette. Like you'd have 10
plenty
pros
of,
at a given time.
yeah,
Yeah, so that's just like plenty of motivation just to
yes,
go. And even
yeah,
when you weren't training, you'd go down the Golds just to hang out and go to the firehouse and just hang out and talk to guys, because it
mm,
just had that atmosphere that you just wanted to be there hanging out.
yeah. Yeah, no, that does. I could only imagine, like, yeah, that would be super motivating just having them sort of guys around.
Yeah,
Um,
that's really good.
if you, is there any guys that, like, out of previous bodybuilders or even like bodybuilders that come after you, is there any guys that
Mhm.
like really stand out for you that you're a fan of?
Uh, well, I like Nick Walker because he's freaky in that, and I like Nick too because he's doing his own dieting and stuff. And same as Sam Sulek, he mentioned me in one of his things, saying that he's doing it like the Lee Priest way. He's just doing his own diet and leading up to the show. And he looks fantastic because he's like, look,
Yeah,
if something goes wrong, I've got no one else to blame but myself. I don't want to have this, put my responsibility onto somebody else or somebody else fuck me up. If I'm going to fuck up, I'll do it myself. And he's looking great. So I like people that do that sort of thing. And if I look at I still like freaky looking bodybuilders. So even like I said, Nick looks great. I like Andrew Jacked. He's got like that freaky cartoon look to him. With
Andrew Jacked. What a great
yeah,
name.
I know. So he's looking good. So
Uh,
yeah, like I said, but normally when I go, like people, even back in the day, it wasn't really physiques. When
yeah.
I meet people, it's how they are and their personality and how they are towards me or something. So someone could have the best physique, but if they're an asshole,
Mm.
it's like, you could have the prettiest girl in the world, but if she's an asshole or a bitch,
Ah, yeah.
she doesn't look that pretty anymore. And I just find the same with people. You could be the freakiest person ever,
Mm.
but if you're a prick, then I don't see your freaky physique anymore. I just see you as a prick. So that's like,
And even like stand out that you were like, oh, he was actually a really good guy that bumped him up for you in your list of favorites.
oh, well, like back in my day, like I said, I used to get like Paul Dillette lived for me. So I got on great with Paul, Mike Matarazzo. He was a great guy, down to earth and that. So always had fun with Mike. We'd be training or joking in around the gym. And I said to Tom Platz, I trained with him for years. So like I said, it's generally the people that had the down to earth personalities that I think I sort of, even if they weren't a great bodybuilder, I still liked them more because just of their personality and how
Mm.
they would treat me or how I see them treat other people. Because I'd see some of these pros, even to fans and other people in the gym just be total assholes. And like I
Mm,
said, I just once I see you as that, yeah, I can appreciate you got a great body, but you're an asshole. So that just takes it all away from me, type thing. Takes that luster away.
yeah. No, definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, you can achieve a lot, but if you're a fucking prick, then that's the
Exactly.
most important part of it. Yeah, yeah. I remember you saying like some of the big numbers that you were putting up when you were over here last time,
Mhm.
and then obviously you've got like Stan Efferding. He transitioned from bodybuilding to powerlifting, was very
Yeah.
successful. Do you think a lot of these big bodybuilders, if they moved into powerlifting, put a bit more body fat on, they'd probably be some of the, if not the best, strongest guys out there?
I think some could, yeah, because you watch some even like Johnny Jackson back in the day, and I know Ian Valier, like some of these guys who do heavy squats and heavy deadlifts. I know some of them, their benches are okay, but some of them, when I see them deadlift and squat, they could, like I said, with extra body weight on them, like they bulked up like I did, could do pretty well. Because, I never really thought about powerlifting, but because when I was younger, people always used to say, Lee, you should get into powerlifting because of the weights I lifted when I was young, my body weight to weight ratio. But I
Mm.
was like, it never interested me. So, yeah,
No.
I probably could have been good at it. It would have been great not having to diet and just doing a couple of lifts and stuff. But it
Mm.
just never interested me. So I went to the bodybuilding. But there are quite, look at Ronnie even. When Ronnie squatted those 8 plates for whatever, he goes, you could have
Lightweight,
done more.
baby.
Yeah, so Ronnie fucking pulling deadlifts
Yeah.
and doing a squat, and then also, I don't know if I ever, I always saw him using dumbbells. I'm not sure if I can really see. I don't know if I ever saw him benching a flat bench too much. I remember incline,
Mm.
but every time I saw Ronnie, it was mainly heavy dumbbells. So I don't know what his max bench would have been back then, but I'm sure there are a few out there who would have made good powerlifters for sure,
Yeah.
definitely. Even go back to Franco's day, what he was
Ah,
fucking
yeah,
deadlifting and shit.
definitely.
And Franco was a big bencher also, so,
Yes, yeah. I mean, Ronnie even did squats in a single ply squat suit,
yeah,
if I remember correctly. Like he was, yeah. I mean, super strong.
yeah.
Do you reckon maybe some of that would have contributed to his injuries that he had later on?
It's hard to say because, Ronnie's form was never like the best either. So, but whether it's just a genetic thing that came along and whether the bodybuilding, the way he trained could have
Mm,
sped up,
mm,
what's going to happen naturally, you can never tell. But yeah, but it's hard to say because you see some guys who have trained good and like Lee Labrada or Lee Haney and that who
mm,
trained good, but they use really strict form. They probably didn't go as crazy as Ronnie and
mm.
they're still fine today. So it's hard to say whether his training did it or just a genetic makeup type thing. But I'm sure some of it, like I said, throwing the heavy weights around with a bit sloppy form
Mm.
wouldn't be too good on your spine and other parts of your body for sure.
Yeah, I remember Louis Simmons saying that it was probably because of his form, because his knees would come too far forward and he wouldn't
Hmm.
sit back enough. So over time, it would
Yeah.
just give him problems with his knees. But like you said, it could be a bit of both. And
Yeah.
sometimes you only have to have that one injury, and then
Oh yeah.
and then it
Hmm.
spirals. Like
Oh yeah. It's
the
like a
body's just
like a
like,
house of cards. It's
yeah,
like well, it's like that game. You pull the one thing out, the whole thing just
yeah,
comes tumbling down.
the
So
body's like
that's
that.
all it can take, especially anything like around the back area or a shoulder, because your back and shoulders, pretty much no matter what you do in bodybuilding,
Mm.
you got to do chest or shoulders or back or arms. Your shoulder's always going to be moving. So if you got a shoulder injury, it sucks, and then your
Oh, yeah.
back well, no matter what you're doing, whether it's dumbbells for even laying down to do chest, you got to throw dumbbells up. Your back's going to feel it. You go to do legs, your back's going to feel it. So, those two areas, if something goes wrong, you're going to feel it. And like you said, if it just gets worse and worse over time, it's
Mm.
not much you can do. I know there's a lot of stuff now with stem cells and that
Mm.
are coming a long way that they never used to have before. So that's maybe a godsend for some. But, to me, prevention's better than cure. So if you can
Definitely.
use strict form, use strict form. Or if you're going to cheat a little bit, I've always said cheat to add stress to the muscle. Don't take it away from the muscle because, you just see people starting to throw weights and they're not even using the muscle; they're just using momentum to
Mm,
throw the weight up and down because it looks good for Instagram or something, and you're
yeah,
just going to hurt yourself in the long run.
definitely. I mean, the stem cells would be great, and that's something I looked at, but they're not exactly easy to get hold of either, and
No,
it's
not in
expensive.
Australia. Not in
No,
Australia anyway. It's like nothing that's good for you in Australia you can get a hold of. If you want to smoke and drink,
oh
you
yeah,
can
go
go
for
do
it. Yeah.
that.
No,
Yeah.
if they can figure a way to tax you heavily on it, then maybe it will be all
Oh
right.
yeah.
But until
Hmm.
then, I remember you saying that you still lift heavy, like all the way up to competing. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Always. Yeah. Never went any lighter. I always kept my weights as heavy as I could up
So,
until the show. And sometimes it actually scared me because sometimes I could still be lifting the same weight I was lifting in
oh,
the off season, but I might be 50 pounds light or something. And oh shit, I haven't got as much body fat and fluid. Is something going to go? So
yeah,
I would back off a little bit. Even as the show got closer and I could go heavier, I just wouldn't, just for that fact that it's like I don't want to have been dieting for 16 weeks. I'm at the 12-week mark. I
mm,
could still maybe squat what I was squatting when I was 270 or, curling and that. But I'm like, yeah, because I don't have the body weight to sort of counterbalance it on some exercises. And like you said, the joints aren't as cushy with the body fat and fluid around them. As much as I'd like to go as heavy as I could, I might, say I was using 200, 180 pound dumbbells in the
mm,
off season just before the show, maybe 6 weeks out, I might just go no heavier than the 150, 140s and
mm.
just do more reps of them just to be safe, because like I said, in bodybuilding, when you're judged on your body, any major injury like a pec tear or that,
Yes.
that could be career ending. So, people are like, why don't you go heavy for the training videos leading up to the Olympics? I'm like, I'm not going to go heavy and get injured just to please you. That I'm going to push some weight, and then when you would do that in a video or photo shoot, people go, "Oh, they're only fake weights anyway." I'm like, so you get no credit anyway. So I'm like, so what's the point of going heavy? So,
So you would back it down a little bit
yeah,
towards the
yeah,
end.
yeah.
Did you drop a few sets out as well, or
No, I kept pretty much the same sets and that up there, always high volume and that. So yeah.
yeah? Well, I thought it would move into some political questions because
Oh
there's
yes.
been a lot of stuff going on lately, and obviously, yeah. I thought I
I've
would
seen
start.
some. I've seen some assholes yesterday burning the Australian flag. I still can't believe that isn't a fucking crime. You're talking about hate speech and that.
Mm,
Or I saw one guy the other day. He had some T-shirt on somewhere in Sydney, and the police wanted him to take it off because they said that T-shirt. What he's doing is not really wrong, but what was on? I can't remember what was on it. I'm not sure it was Australia, and I'm not sure it was like the Crusades or say they say, but what he was wearing could incite something. And I'll be like, well, that's on them. That's not
yes.
on me. I'm just wearing a T-shirt. If
Yeah.
they're going to kick off over it, go arrest them, not me. But to me, it's like,
Yeah.
but yet you don't think people who are passionate about this country or have fought for this country or who just are proud Australians, you don't think burning a flag in front of them is going to piss them off and
Mm,
fucking make them want to go fucking start a riot? So, and it just pisses me off because I could guarantee if I was in Sydney or say there's like a big march going on the Australian Day and you got the Aboriginals marching, I bet if I lit up I bet if I burnt an Aboriginal flag,
mm,
I'd probably get charged as a hate crime. It'd
yeah.
come down on me as, look, that's what you did. You're inciting hate by burning the Aboriginal. What do you think you're doing by burning the Australian flag?
Yeah. And
It's
that's
like,
supposed to like mean for all of us,
yeah, yeah.
including
And,
them.
that's what I said. That's what I said. We don't need a gay flag, the pride flag. We don't need a trans flag or Aboriginal flag. The Australian flag is for everyone, whether you're an
Mm,
Australian Aboriginal, if you're a trans Australian or a gay Australian, the
yeah.
Australian flag is for you. It's for fucking everybody. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter race, religion,
No.
sexuality. We're all under that one flag. So I don't see why we have to separate it. This, as I said, with all the flags that keep coming out all the time and all these
Yeah.
different, it's like we're dividing ourselves more
Mm,
and more into groups every fucking week. It seems like
mm.
we're dividing ourselves rather than come together as a whole. We're just dividing ourselves into things over stupid things. It's like ridiculous.
I kind of blame weak leadership. I
Yep.
mean,
Hmm.
they go on and on about the patriarchy this, the patriarchy that. I feel we live in a fucking matriarchy ran by weak men.
Oh
And
yeah.
this is why we're in the position we are now is weak leadership. You know, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
we're all Australians, and the flag should be respected. You know, a lot of
Yeah.
men fought and died for that flag and died
Yeah.
for our freedoms. Um, it's just disrespectful. I mean, and like I'm going to touch on soon that the new speech laws they've brought in,
Oh, yeah.
and one of the things they wanted to put in there was make it illegal to burn the flag, and they shut that down. So,
Yeah. Which
you
is
know,
weird because I was at a car show. Not sure if I told you if I'd been or gone. It was after I was up there, but I was there and Pauline Hanson was there and she was looking at my military Humvee and that. And I took a lot of photos with her. Sure, I posted the photos. Oh, I can't believe you've got a photo with her, you fucking racist. I'm like,
mm,
oh, shut up, you know, people. But yet, my friend had an Australian flag, and he said, "Oh, can you sign this?" She goes, "I will." She goes, "No one's looking." It is an actual offence on the
mm,
Australian law books. Signing the flag
but
is an
burning,
offence. Yeah, but burning it's not. But her signing it, or if you just draw on the flag,
yeah.
that is a punishable offence, but burning it's not. I'm like, how does that make sense?
It just shows how, like, I don't like to use this phrase because it gets thrown around, but it's true. I mean, when people just like to they throw labels around and like being racist. She's not racist. She
Yeah,
stands for us,
yeah,
the
yeah.
Australian people.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, I've
And that's
met her
and like you said,
before.
that's too easy thrown around too
Yeah.
now. It's like as soon as you say something someone doesn't like, racist, misogynist, it's
Mm,
like these words just come out. It's like, well, how am I racist?
yeah.
Oh, just because you are. It's like, okay, you see
Yeah.
it all the time in America. They throw it. To me now, the word when they say race, it's lost its thing
It's
now. When
it,
someone was a racist, you knew they were racist because they
mm,
were totally like the
mm,
KKK, like they were right out there.
yeah.
Now, just because someone disagrees with your political points or something, or somebody might say, "Hey, let's end mass immigration," not
Mm,
normal immigration. Like, yes, we're built on immigrants, the country, but back then was different. Back
mm,
then, immigrants come to the country, they got jobs, they learnt the language, they
mm,
assimilated.
mm,
Now we've got people coming over who've been here 20, 30 years, never learnt the language. So many are on welfare and they stay on the welfare, just screwing the system over. And you could just see we don't have the infrastructure to bring in that many people. We've barely got homes for Australians who are living on the streets. How can we bring in all these people overseas and give them housing when we can't house our own Australians? So immigration back then is totally different to now. And like I said, we don't want to stop immigration, just
no.
mass slow it down a bit where we don't have the housing, the road infrastructure is not keeping up. We just all over it. We just don't have what it takes to bring this many people in that fast. And as soon as you say slow immigration down, oh, you're racist.
Mm,
This country was built on immigrants. It's like, oh, piss off. Here we go again.
yeah. Like exactly. If you're going to assimilate, and if you love this country enough to leave your homeland to
Hmm.
come here, you know, we're not saying forget your religion or forget
No,
your heritage, but assimilate and become Aussies.
yeah,
At the
and
very
respect
least,
ours. Like if you come
yeah,
here and you're Islam faith or whatever, or your Jewish faith, whatever, we
yeah,
respect yours coming here. Shit, you can build. They built mosques. They built, Jewish temples. Whatever they have their church type thing. It's like go to their country. They're not going to let you build a
no,
Christian church or
exactly.
stuff. So I think countries like Australia, America, and England are very forthcoming, like for immigrants when they come in to make them feel at home. Make them feel like. But it's like you left your country for a reason, like you
Mm,
said, to come to America or Australia for a better way of life.
mm,
Then bring your crap here,
mm,
and then when shit starts in that country that you left, you start waving that flag like the Palestinian flag,
mm,
and then you're burning our flag. It's like you're burning the flag of the country that just gave you safe haven and give you all these benefits and that, but yet you're waving the flag of the country that treated you like shit. That's why you and your family fled that country in fear.
yeah.
I don't. That doesn't make sense to me. It's
No, it
like,
doesn't. Exactly, and it's not even like first generation, because we'll take the Bondi shooting that happened
oh
recently.
yeah,
That's second generation. So they
yeah,
come and then they have their own cliques within our country, and
mm-hmm.
he didn't become an Aussie. Like just
No,
because he was
no,
born here, he didn't become an Aussie. Like
no,
become an Aussie, mate. Like, and it's again, like I'm not saying forget where you came from, but if you want to be an Australian, then be a fucking Australian and
Yeah,
appreciate the country. And man, like what happened in Bondi was absolutely horrific. And
it's crazy.
yeah. What's your opinion on that?
Oh, it's just what pisses me off was you hear later on that he was on the ASIO watch list and that for all those years, and then he was off it. But
Mm,
to me, if you're on it, you should never really be off it. And then when they do go traveling to somewhere like where they go Indonesia or something like that,
mm,
a flag should flag on the computer. This
mm,
guy was on the watch list and now he's going to this terrorist country where they train terrorists. It should have been flagging then. And what pissed me off though was it's like when with the machete ban in Melbourne, our Prime Minister, right, now rather than come down on extreme Islam, because there's always the extremists, and like I said, there's extremists in all religions. You have the pedophile priests in the Catholic
mm,
religion, you have extremist Christians that go off the fucking deep end. So
mm,
I'm not coming down on their religion. I'm just talking about the extremist ones. Rather than say that, his first thing is we've got to tighten up the gun laws. I'm like,
mm,
we got some of the tightest gun laws in the world here. And
exactly.
then he's like, it's like, do you realise, Albanese, or you dumb politicians, that making more gun laws, criminals, people that want to do bad, don't follow the law. They
Mm,
don't give a shit if you make 100 new gun laws.
mm,
These criminals are still going to have the guns. All you're punishing is, okay, this guy got a gun and he shot these people, but now you're going to punish all the thousands and thousands of responsible gun owners because
yeah.
you can put a gun on the table. It could be fully loaded. If no one touches it, the gun's not going to kill anyone.
Mm,
If you're a responsible gun owner, you're not going to shoot anybody. It's just those criminal element. And then I said, if they don't get a gun, they'll go get a hammer. They'll go get a fucking axe. They can get a knife, the
mm,
machetes. So people that have intent in their mind, they could just get a car if they wanted to
yeah,
and drive a
exactly.
car through,
You
drive
can.
their car through a crowd of people. Yeah.
Mm,
So you're never going to stop these people with new laws. All you're doing
mm,
is hurting the good Australians. And to me, it's like you said too, back in the days, it seems like politicians were there for the working man,
mm,
woman, and the country. Now it just seems like they're there for themselves. It's like almost like what can they, it's their portfolio, how much money can they make while they're in?
mm,
Okay, I'm in for 3 or 4 years. What can I do for me? It's
mm,
not like what can I look ahead for 20 years of Australia, make Australia great. That's why I never understood parties like we have Labor, Liberal, the Greens, and all this. It's like, why can't we just have a government made up of people like
mm,
retired truck drivers, miners, people that have been in the real world,
mm,
everybody like accountants, like just a group of people, real Australians that have worked, farmers, truck drivers. And if you just say had 500 people in government made up of real Australians, not career politicians, ones that have actually been out there,
mm,
yeah, you're going to have people argue back and forth on certain things, but if you're being out there as a truck driver, working on the railroad, a coal miner, and that, and you people are like the government, and
mm,
people elect them, they know what the real world's like, and they know what the people need. So yeah, they
mm,
might argue here and there, but at least they've come together for the good of the country and the people in the country. It seems like these people now, our government's too busy pleasing the world,
mm,
rather about this country, that country. Why? Okay, if helping the world and people who are less off is great
mm,
once your own people are well off, once
mm,
we don't have people living on the streets, once everybody here's taken care of, then go play world police.
mm,
We had our farmers committing suicide and that, but yet we'll give 300 million to Indonesia where they have a typhoon. But
mm,
yet here they tell our farmers, we'll give you a low interest rate bank loan. It's like, wait a
mm,
minute, shouldn't you be giving the farmers here that
mm,
300 million so they can get back on their feet and don't lose their farms and shit like that?
mm.
Well, like I said, a lot of them were killing themselves, suicide and that. So I just think we should take care of Australians, but really that's what I hate to when they go on TV. I know what the Australians want. I've listened to the people. I'm like, you're fucking stone. You're tone deaf if you say you're listening to the people
Yeah.
because pretty much whatever they're saying on TV, the people are the total opposite of what
Mm.
they're saying and what they're giving us. So
No,
they're not
definitely.
listening too hard.
Yeah, they care more about appearing good than actually fucking doing
Exactly,
good.
exactly. Yeah,
Um,
and I hate when they. To me, if I was an interviewer and I had somebody on, I said, "Here's a question," and it's a yes or no answer,
mm,
and I ask them, and they just beat around the bush. I'll ask again. After 3 times, I say, you know what, you're wasting my time and the Australian people's time. It's a simple yes or no question, but you won't answer it. So get off. I wouldn't even play their game. It's like, answer the question or piss off. It's like they try and go that word salad crap they go into, or they'll try and blame the previous government before. It's like, you're in now. What are you going to do about it? Well, I reckon now. It's like, okay, goodbye. It's like you can have an interview of a politician that could go 20 minutes and they've answered no question. You've learnt nothing. It's like, so why have them on?
Yeah, no, definitely. And like you mentioned, I mean, their bad leadership is a part. Look, I don't want to just lump what happened onto politicians. You can't control what everyone does. But this guy was on a fucking watch list. He still managed to get a gun license, get all these weapons, and then do atrocities, and then their idea is to punish the rest of us good, like normal Australians. Yeah. It goes back to like never let an atrocity go. What's the saying again?
Never let something go. No, the one
yeah.
Never let a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But even like leading up to that, though, for the 2 years leading up to it, when they had down there at the Opera House, when there was people demonstrating, gash the Jews and all this sort of bullshit, that should never been allowed to go ahead with all those type of protests and stuff. When they're doing all that, they're saying they weren't saying that, but they play the videos. They're chanting gas to Jews, and they got their signs up, and the Palestinian people get mad at the Jewish people. Like, this is Australia. If you want to go fight that fight, go over there, get on the next plane and head over and fight it over there, but not here in Australia. Yes, like I said, you might have family over there and you could be upset at what's happening, but don't bring that shit to our doorstep. That's not right. I don't care what country it is, but, whether it was Ukraine here and the people marching about that and starting protests in the streets, it's like, you want to do that, go over there and do it in that country. But doing it here, like I said, just comes back to virtual signaling. It's like, yes, kids being killed in wars is terrible. You know what? Innocent people get killed all the time. They go on, well, the Jewish, whatever, Netanyahu's dropping bombs on Palestine. I'm like, yeah, but remember, America dropped a bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and how many hundreds of thousands of innocent people got vaporized? They dropped the bomb on a whole city. They're like, but it stopped the war. I'm like, yeah, but you killed like 170,000 in one city and then so many others in another. It's like, that's innocent lives just by the atomic bombs. So, like I said, there's never a right or wrong side in certain wars, because wars are only for the people. I said big money makers for the people who are starting them. There's people. To me, it's like the people behind the curtain. We have our presidents and prime ministers, figureheads, but the real show's on those people we never hear about, the ones that pull all the strings. So, and I think they're the ones that pretty much stir all this shit up. I always picture it like, you see those old movies where they used to have the big war table out and they'll be pushing ships up here and boats here, the tanks over here. To me, that's what it's like. You get that Bilderberg group, or those people that come together, like the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. They've probably got a big thing of the world like this. They're like, who shall we invade today? Let's move over here into Ukraine. And once we annihilate it, BlackRock will come in. They'll get the contract to rebuild, and then they'll sign over all their mineral rights to us. To me, we're just pawns in a big game that they're all playing. And like I said, they just got us fighting against each other rather than all of us coming together. And as long as they're doing that, they're winning, sadly, because like I said, we're killing each other and fighting over the dumbest shit that I've never seen before in my life. Like, dude, the dumbest crap.
I know. It's so true as well. Like, and I mean, you look at what's going on in the States, right? How they're like, Nazis and blah blah blah. I'm like,
oh my god,
dude, yous aren't oppressed. Like, if yous were oppressed, you just be gunned down. Like,
exactly.
And you can call yourselves fucking protesters. Yous are rioters. Yous riot. You burn down your own city. And then like, that's not freedom of speech, dude. That's
just like chaos. That's like anarchy and chaos.
Exactly. And then you hide behind, that you're good people. You're not good people. No. That's not peacefully protesting. You know, like, you're causing absolute mayhem because you're trying to protect sex offenders that aren't even supposed to be in your country. Like, what is wrong with yous?
And I don't get, it's like when they were finding all the money that Doge was finding, they're upset. But I'm like, how can you be upset at Trump or whoever, Elon or that group, when they were finding billions of dollars of wasteful things going to these countries for, you know, seeing the sex change on a frog. Here's 50 million to that country. It's like all this wasteful spending, which you know is going into someone's pocket. It's just under the banner
100%.
of, you know, something. It's like,
Yeah.
how can you be upset about that? Yeah, but like you said, these are federal agents coming to arrest, like you said, rapists, murderers, child molesters, people. Majority of them I saw, some of them were like meant to be kicked out of the country back in the early 2000s. Some in the 90s, they were meant to be, you know, evicted out of the country, but they're still there. And these people
It's
get
because they're
involved. It's
votes.
like, yeah, it's like you're getting involved and you're trying to fight with federal agents. What do you think's going to fucking happen?
Yeah.
It's like they're doing their job. It's like,
Yeah.
that's just ridiculous. And they're screaming in their faces, getting in their faces, throwing things at them. And like I said, now because some have driven cars at him, that one guy they're on about now who just got shot because he had a gun on him. It's like, if you're going to get involved, okay, you might be licensed to carry a gun, but if I'm going to go start fighting ICE agents and I got a gun on me, and like I said, these ICE agents now, they're out there thinking everyone's trying to kill them, which a lot of them are, because there's people putting out videos how to kill ICE agents. This is what you should do. This is how you should attack them. So if you're in the melee fighting someone, there's a gun, and one of the ICE agents calls gun, and you turn around and see the gun on the guy, it's no wonder they fucking open fire because they want to go home. It's like when you see them driving cars out, and that woman that got shot in the car, and her wife saying, "Drive, baby, drive, drive," and you see the proper angles. She drove at him, and
You can
she
hear
got
him get
shot.
hit. Yeah, you can hear
And
that.
she, yeah, and she's a professional protester. When it looked back, they look back into her history. She'd been to all these protests before. She'd driven 5 hours to go to that one. It's like you should be at home with your fucking kids, teaching them right from
100%.
wrong,
Yeah.
not out on the streets. It's like
Yeah.
it's just fucking nuts. It's like that's like you said. It's not protesting. It's almost just they're just looking for an excuse. Like when they had those riots, it's like, what if you want to protest? Fine, but like you said, how many businesses got burned in the BLM riots? Like shops looted. People, how does you going into a store stealing all their fucking TVs and
iPhones
shoes and that help the black people who are being discriminated against and all this sort of shit? You're just taking advantage of it, and then you're burning down. A lot of the business you burnt down were black-owned businesses that employed black people.
Exactly.
They're never going to rebuild and come back to that community and have jobs anymore because you burn them down just because you had this mentality where they just fucking went nuts, turning cars over. To me, that's fucking ridiculous. That's not protesting at all.
And all these people donate to BLM, and all it did was buy, a very select few black people
New
mansions.
homes. Yeah.
They brought mansions out of it. While
And
you
one
idiots
of
going
them,
down,
didn't she paid her brother a couple of $100,000 for security? He's not even into security. And the whole thing was a big rort. That's what just gets me because...
And it's so obvious as well. Like, that's what I don't understand.
Because how many black people, like I said, I watch some of those shows, Officer Tatum and all those sort of things, and or all these other ones I watch, conservative type things that pop up, and they'll go through every day in Chicago how many black people will be gunned down. A young kid, 8 years old, walking home from school, gets shot on the street. Where's BLM for them? Where's the money going to his family? They only jump on board if it's a white cop and a black. Only if it's like a race thing they can get on, because so many black families are destroyed each day in the communities by drugs and gun violence, but you'll never hear of it because it doesn't fit the narrative. It's only when it fits their narrative they can put it on TV and go to town and start bullshit about it. So
it all goes for clicks.
Yep.
Like at the end of the day, they only push the ones that are going to make people angry, and then they're going to click on that article, which raises money. So it all comes down to greed. Like even on that end, these bloody what do you call it? The people putting out these articles, they're tearing the country apart.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah.
And it's all for money. And again, back around to what you said with BLM, the actual enterprise itself, just siphoning money off people and buying themselves mansions. It's just like, you didn't fucking put that money back into these cities or into, getting, mum and pop bloody, little black owned business, fish and chip shop back up after your idiots burnt it down.
They just thought about themselves. That's all they did.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. And it's not just that though. Like if you look at all around, like everything going on in the world between, you know, a lot of divisiveness within the West, and then everything going on outside of the West with
Yeah.
all these other countries. Like it is a scary time.
Yeah. And that's what's sad, because it's like people, like I said before, you'd be friendly with anybody, talk to anyone, this and that. But it's like everyone's in their own little world, in their own little bubble, because it's almost like I can't trust that person. This person
Yeah.
could be out to get me. This person might want to kill me. This person has a different, they vote for Trump, I vote for Kamala, so we hate each other. Like there's so much hate and divide, like I said, I just wish, like, there's religious people out there, whether it's the Quran they have faith in, or the Bible and stuff. I just keep saying some of those people have so much blind faith in that, Jesus walked on water. This really happened. Moses parted the Red Seas. And I hear those stories. I'm like, really? The ocean just opened up? And, I question them, because I've always questioned stuff wherever, like I said, I'm not religious, but I'm probably spiritual, thinking there has to be something greater than us out there, whether it's UFOs or there is a God. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say, like some people, it's God, it has to be God. There's people that just had that blind faith. That's great, but I'm more open. It could be anything. If it's God, great. If it's not, it's fucking a mothership and UFOs. That's great. But I just wish that I've always said the blind faith that they have in that book, where they'll believe word for word. I said, where do we lose that faith in just other humans, other people, your neighbor? Having that same faith in other people would make the world a better place if you just had faith in them, believed in them and stuff like that, rather than, like I said, our whole world now is in our bloody phones, or just in a circle. When I was young, I knew everybody in the street. Like everyone knew everybody, everyone looked out for everybody. You're lucky now if some people even know their own neighbors anymore. Like they could live next door to somebody and not even know their fucking neighbor for years and years and years. It might be a hi, but they never talk. They never invite the neighbors over. We used to have like barbecues, neighbors would come over, or you'd have a block party where a few of the houses in the street would get together and you play cricket in the street. Everyone has barbecues. Like everyone was just out helping everyone, looking out. It didn't matter race, religion, where you come from. Everyone just got along great, because to me, I always just say, when they always talk about races, I said, there's one race, it's the fucking human race. And in that, there's all different varieties of humans, but we're all fucking humans. So all we should do is just start treating each other like fucking humans, and not fucking whatever we've been treating each other like lately is just fucking disgusting when you look around the world.
Yeah, I just look at ideologies and people's actions more so than the way they look. I don't give a shit how someone looks.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that goes to population density as well. It's well known that the more people they have in a city, or more people you have around you, the more people seclude themselves from other people. And then obviously Australia has grown a lot in the last, however many, just in general. I think that's a byproduct of just the country itself growing a lot.
That's why it's good to go to those little country towns. Everyone's like, g'day, mate, how you going? You go into a little cafe and everyone's chatting, and you're like, this is what Australia used to be like. People are just friendly and talking and that sort of stuff. Like you said, now you go somewhere and you walk into a pub in Sydney, everyone's, like you said, head down, who's that prick? Look at him over there. Like, But now you'd be starting to question too. Like in America now, you're not sure who's going to be the next killer or shooter. Now you could be in Sydney, and depending where you are now, if somebody saw like a Lebanese-looking person or a Muslim type, you're thinking, shit, are they come to do harm? Are they going to go off now? Because, like I said, you don't know what's in people's minds these days or what can set them off. And like I said, some young kids are so easily impressionable by the shit they see on their phones and stuff. It doesn't take much to radicalize someone these days.
No, that's so true. And definitely. Things have changed a
Especially
lot.
too if they don't have like family at home. Well, they might have family at home too, but when we grew up, your mum and dad spoke to you, they talked to you, you learned things from your mum and dad. Now mum and dad give the kid an iPad, and that's where they're learning from. So I think being brought up's a lot different too now, rather than your parents say, no, that's wrong, this is good, that's bad, this sort of stuff. Having a parent actually tell you to just young kids just watching stuff on YouTube and their iPhones and iPads all day, that's pretty much that's what's raising them, not the parents anymore, sadly.
I think my generation is kind of like the last of that previous generation. Like there was no, I mean, when I was a kid, we didn't even have a computer. There was no social media. the phone that we had, you had to put the finger in and then
Oh yeah, one of those.
yeah, one of those.
And if you got the wrong number, you had to start again.
Yeah,
And then it was like a
yeah,
private phone call. You'd stretch the cord around the corner of the.
exactly.
Yeah, but
If
but,
you
but then
want
but wasn't it so much more fun then too? Because
it was
like
so much
you
better.
couldn't wait to, but you'd never want to be inside. You couldn't wait to get outside with your mates, ride your bike, go do whatever, fuck off in the park, or
Yeah,
like I said, just hanging out with your mates outside. I mean, you couldn't get me inside, but now
yeah.
you can't get kids outside
No,
half the
that's right.
time.
Like if you wanted to find your mate, you had to actually fucking leave the house and go and find
Mhm.
him.
Get on your bike and go see where the other bikes were in front of the local
Yeah,
corner shop, or whoever had
exactly.
their bikes in the front yard. That's the thing. I used to love it. Or you'd come home and I finally got an answering machine, you'd be like, fuck, free messages. What are they? What are they? And you'd be all excited to listen to the messages and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, but but pretty much it'd be like that, wouldn't it? You could get up in the morning and you call your mates or whoever. We're going down to the park at 8 o'clock. See you down there.
yeah,
If you didn't get the phone call, then like I said, you'd have to go looking for everybody. Is
yeah.
Mike home? No, he's down the park. Okay, bye.
Yeah, like you never see
Yeah.
like when I was a kid, you'd see groups of kids riding around on their pushies with the shovel, and like the
Yeah.
only people I see riding push bikes now are crackheads. I don't see
Oh, yeah.
kids
But
riding
now I
around
don't
with
even see
groups.
them riding bikes. They've got all these fucking electric bikes now. They're
Yeah,
not
the
even
scooters.
pedaling.
Yeah.
They're just sitting there flying past you,
At all
almost wipe
50.
you out on
Yeah.
this, doing 40 Ks on the
Oh, yeah.
sidewalk, almost kill you.
They're so dangerous.
They're not even riding anymore, not even getting exercise. It's
Yeah.
fucking nuts.
No, that's so true. I've seen so many crashes on them, mate. They go way too
Yeah.
fast.
They do, especially on shared walkways. If a shared walkway, when there's elderly people walking, and those things are quiet, you can't hear them coming. If you just step to the side, bang, or
Yeah.
I've stepped out of shops before, and because they come along the sidewalk so quick, you step out of a shop, you almost get taken out by them, or some of the elderly people in their mobile scooters go fucking fast and almost
Yeah.
wipe you out.
I seen it was a few months ago. I saw one fly past the pub and crash into the side of this person's car that's coming out of the driveway, and then try to blame the person in the car. Like,
I know.
you're an idiot.
I know.
So
it's
when he
ridiculous.
had his broken arm, I didn't feel bad for him at all.
Might slow him down a bit, hopefully.
Yeah. Circling around to like what you were talking about with religion and that.
Mhm.
I think that we'll just take the Bible for example. I think a lot of the stories within the Bible was just stories passed down through generations, and like we'll just take the floods and that, and like Noah's
Oh, yeah.
Ark. They know that we had big floods with the Younger Dryas. Was it like
Mhm.
11 or 12,000 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
And then like just stories that you got to think these are thousands of years ago, and they're just like passed down.
And there's so
through
many.
the
I was watching a
generations.
program too where is it Gilgamesh and all these other ones where there's all these different books even written thousands of years before the Bible that all talk about a big flood. Like
Yeah.
everyone's had pretty much the same stories,
Yeah.
but they've changed, like whether it be whatever country or religion or whatever. But there's been so many going way back to predate the Bible.
Yeah.
They talk about a big flood. They talk about this. They talk about that. So yeah, it's just, like I said, if people need that to believe in, that's fine. But to me, thou shalt not kill, and all this. Okay, that should be fucking. Don't kill people. Don't do this. Like knowing right from wrong, good and bad. I don't need a Bible to tell me
No.
that. So to me, like I said, I just find religion's been. It too has been hijacked, especially when living in America when you got all those preachers that are driving Rolls Royces,
Oh,
living
yeah.
in $1 million mansions,
Yeah.
private jets. I'm like,
What are they
if you
called,
really,
isn't it?
if you really wanted to preach the word of God, you could just
Yeah.
go down to the local park on a Sunday and have people sit on blankets and talk about
Yeah.
the scripture. You don't need $1 million churches, $1 million houses. It's like, to me, it's just like, come on. It's like, I'm sure some are there for the good, but a lot of it now just seems like so much money making. It's
Dude,
ridiculous.
100%. That one guy, I'm forgetting his name, but it's the same sort of deal you're talking about with the multi-million-dollar amphitheater bloody churches, and he's got his big, he's got his fake teeth in there and that, and like when I watched him, I was just thinking, oh, bro, like if you would ever point out an antichrist, it would be that guy, like he didn't look trustworthy at all.
And then they've even got things now where there's to hand the collection bowl out. Some of those places now, they've got a thing, tap your card to give donations. And so many of those churches take a percentage of some people's
Of your
wages and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, to me, you'd be like, I'd rather just take that money to the local charity and buy food, or where you see those people who have soup kitchens or something like the Red Shield Appeal or Salvation Army. Some places that you could actually go and see the money going to them, not to some of these big corporate churches where this
Yeah.
has to go for office fees and this and that. So by the time the money, like I said, and by the time the whoever preacher takes his cut and he's living from it, that's how he's got private jets.
Mm.
None of this money's going to people who really need it, like people in the community. Like you got people going to church who are struggling, giving their last dollars, thinking this is what they have to do. This is how I get to heaven. I got to be good. It's like just being nice to people, help your fellow person.
Mm.
If you can help them out, help them out. To me,
Definitely.
I don't need a church or a religion to tell me to do that. If I'm doing good, helping people when I can, well,
Mm.
rather than someone, like I said, they go to church every Sunday, ask for forgiveness, and from Monday to Saturday, the complete assholes to everyone around them. I'm like, well, fuck you. It's like, how do you get into heaven
Mm.
just because every Sunday you say, oh, please, Lord, forgive me? You get a clean slate for the next
Yeah.
week again.
Yeah.
Even like people that murder people
Yeah.
and go
It's
to
all good. I
jail.
can just.
Oh, he's a serial killer, but he asked for forgiveness, so he's going to get into heaven. But
Yeah.
I've had religious people tell me, Lee, if you don't accept God and that, you'll never. I said, so I can be good my whole life, do nothing wrong, but if I don't accept God, I won't get to heaven. They're like, no. I said, but a murderer can if he kills people and asks God. They're like, yeah. I said, but that's pretty fucked up to me. If you
Yeah.
ask me, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. I had a good chat about this with a friend of mine that's he's religious, and I just said like, "You think I'm a good person, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he go, "I just because we're already talking about it wasn't
Yeah.
out of the blue. We were already talking about Christianity." And he's like, "Yeah." And I go, "But in your belief, like honestly, you think I'm going to go to hell and burn eternally, correct?"
Mm,
And he's like, he paused for a second. He's like, oh, well, yeah, like it's okay, man. Like I know the answer to the question.
mm,
And I was just like, do you think something, if there's a real God, because I'm open to,
yeah.
I'm open to a lot of things, right? And I think there's a
Hmm.
lot of truth within the Bible.
Yeah.
But do you think that something that powerful that created everything, the universe,
Mm,
everything you see, is really going to be that concerned about having me worship them constantly? Like you're going to
hmm.
create all of us and then go, well, I'm going to
Exactly.
create you, but you fucking better worship me every
Mm.
day
You
or
were
else.
you're
Like,
you're an atheist. You're an atheist, but you're a doctor, and
uh,
you help kids with heart transplants, and you help kids, maybe go through chemo and
yeah.
not have cancer anymore. You might have saved lives as a surgeon, but because you didn't worship me, to hell you go.
Yeah, it seems very
Oh,
like,
what's that? What's that? You killed how many people? But then you found me in jail. Come
come
on
in.
in. Yeah, it's like I don't get it.
No, it
I don't
doesn't.
get it. No.
It's just like it's quite manipulative. And like I went through and I read a lot of the Bible, and I was just like, oh, I see what you're doing here. It's not only your actions that can make you go to hell; it's even your thoughts. And so
Yeah.
you've got to
Hmm.
thought police your own self. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
people, that's impossible. And it's
No,
just like I see
we'd
what
all
you.
be going to hell then
Yeah,
because
exactly. You
we all how
can't.
many times you'll never do it, but how many times are you like, oh fuck, I'd love to kill you. I wish you would just
Yeah,
die. It's like, but you never do it or wish
yeah.
it. You're just thinking it. But as I said, we'd all be there would be no person in
Oh,
fucking heaven. That's for
exactly.
sure.
It's like even if you see an attractive woman and you have thoughts about her, unsavory, like you
Yeah,
want to sleep with her or whatever, that's enough. You go to hell for
yeah,
that. So it's just like I see what you're doing here. You're making it so it's impossible. So you've got to always repent. And it's just like,
hmm.
that's clever. I can see what you're doing. It's
Oh
written
yeah,
by men, it's not like
that's
Jesus
right.
wrote that. That the Bible come,
Mm.
long after he is
Way
supposed.
after. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
So,
didn't they just say like religions, depending on what programs you watch on history and documentaries, that religion, no matter what it was, whether it's the Church of England, the Catholics, or whatever, it
mm,
was just as a form of control, really, to
yeah.
control people and control this. And you had to believe this and live this way. If you didn't, then blasphemy and heretic. And
Mm.
some people, look, when you think of religion in a whole, if you look at it in the way they say, it's meant to be this loving thing, peaceful, all encumbering everything, where it's meant to bring peace to everyone. Everyone should live in, get along.
Mm.
But then when you look, if you were to go back through history too, like I said, back to the Spanish Inquisitions, back to shit, even near the Viking days of when religion or whenever started coming out on different things, how many people have been killed in the name of religion. It'd be like, you'd be in the probably billions worldwide that have fought wars in the name of religions and stuff. So to me, if there was a God, he'd be looking down, just shaking his head going, what the fuck are you doing? It wasn't meant to be like this if there was a God. Because like I said, I just don't see how my God's better than your God. You should believe like we do, or we're going to kill you and this sort of thing. Now our God's better. I'm just like, fuck people, let's just get along. Who cares?
It's funny because it's the same way of thinking is very similar to what we see now with political parties.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like people have to be in a team, you know, and like, don't get me wrong, we all have confirmation bias, you know, very few people are going to think that, oh, I'm in the wrong and I don't care, you know.
Right.
Most people will think they're in the right. Generally, I think, you know, do whatever you like as long as it's not hurting other people and, you know, don't infringe on other people's rights.
And that's how it used to be with religion, and it used to be that way too, even in America, with who you voted for. No one cared. Oh, you voted for Republican? Cool, I voted for Democrat. But now you got family members not even going to Christmas dinners or Thanksgiving, or they just hate on their you voted for Trump. I can no longer be your brother, or you're no longer invited to this family. I'm like, what is wrong with you people? It's family. It's like, who cares what they, like you said, what their religion belief is, or what they're. So even to me, it's like, even when back in the day, if, you know, someone was gay, they'd be banished from the family. I can't believe you're gay. It's like, who cares if they're gay? If they're not hurting anyone, they're happy and they love someone of the same sex, who gives a shit? If they're not pushing on other people and they're just living their lives, who cares, you know?
We spoke on this last time, and it's like, people that have too much fucking free time, like, who cares what other people are doing? If it doesn't hurt you, like, you should be more worried about what you're doing and things you got going in your own life. And people, you know, I'm all for, you know, the gays can get married, you know, they're entitled to be just as miserable as the rest of us.
Exactly. And like I said, my dad's been with his partner almost 40 years, and he's never, like I said, wanted to get married. He's been with his partner, and they're happy being that way, like I said. So
and there's a lot of within law and that as well.
I know that's why a lot of them wanted it, because they said a lot of them who had been like, you know, my dad and that had been together 40 years. If something happened to one of them, anyone could come along and say, I'm taking all his stuff, when really they're a couple, like a married woman, and if they were a married woman and man, that she would get his belongings, where they just felt like, shit, I've been with this guy my whole life, or woman my whole life, loved them, now they're dead. The family just comes in and takes everything, and I have nothing but the memories. So I can understand for legal reasons they wanted the marriage.
100%. So, like what you're talking about with religion and controlling the narratives, what do you think of these new hate speech laws? Because it feels more like it's there to shut down voices and have total narrative control.
I think so, because they're so up in the air too of what it is. Because, like I said, if you're not inciting violence, or you're not, like I said, like saying stuff to harm anyone. If I was just saying something that I just believed, and then someone goes, well, I find that racist and I don't like that, that offends me, can I get arrested for that? Because you're seeing, like in the UK, we're mentioning how people are getting knocks on doors over there. Excuse me, we hear about the Facebook post. They're like, yeah, what? Well, someone complained and they're offended by it. So it's like, well, what are you offended by? It's like, I can't control what people get offended by. It's like, shit, I don't really get offended. I can see stuff on TV and go, I don't like it, I think it's stupid, but it doesn't offend me. It's like, shit, you know, I might get annoyed if I see people rude to elderly people, but I don't get offended. I just be pissed off if, like, younger people are rude to elderly people. So to be offended, it's like, really? It's like, who cares? It's like, like I said, it's not like they're not inciting violence or trying to harm someone. If it's just speech, it's like, who cares, you know? It's like,
Lola. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's like my friend, he's black. He goes, if someone calls him the N-word, he goes, I don't care. He goes, I know I'm not an N, so it doesn't bother me. They want to call me that, I just laugh at him. I don't want to fight him. I don't get mad. I go, that's you. if you think that, you're an idiot. So
Yeah,
more
that's
fool
right.
you. So you shouldn't let, like, to me, I go back to the old days, sticks and stones may break my bones, but
Mm,
names will never hurt me. And,
mm,
what people say and things like that, it should never affect you that deeply. It's like, who gives a shit? You don't know these people to start with.
mm,
And how are they really affecting your life? Is it just like, it's almost like those virtual signalers that put up a flag.
mm,
They'll just see something and they're almost like professional complainers.
mm.
Then they'll go out and make a big thing about this thing just to get attention. I can't believe this was said. And then, like you said, when you see what they're complaining about, you're like, you're upset over that. It's like, God, get a life. It's like you said, you must have nothing going on in your life if
Yeah.
if that's affecting you.
No, 100%. And like, it's not even inciting violence. It's inciting fear can get you 5 years in jail. So
Yeah.
who gets that's so like
Mm.
unclear. Like that could be that could be anything. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that is specifically to be vague like that so they can shut down dissenting opinions. It just feels like we're moving into a real version of 1984.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly. It's just so weird now. It's like you said, you post something, you have to, oh, should I post that? Or is this going to upset someone? Oh, fuck. Everything I post upsets someone. So I just get to the point where I'm like, what gets me is too, if you know someone's a certain way or a certain belief
Mm.
or their views are different to yours, why do you fucking follow them? Why
Yeah.
follow me? If people know who I am by now, the way I think, and well, I don't even know how I think sometimes. I just spurt stuff out. But, if you know someone and you don't really like them, because I always get, I can't believe you said that. Ah, you fucking idiot. I watch. It's like, then don't follow me. Don't watch me. Then you won't have a problem with me. It's like there's a ton of people out there I don't like, and I don't follow them, so I never know if they unless something's brought up on a YouTube channel about the person.
Yeah.
And so people go, "Oh, look what Trump just posted on his Truth Social."
Mm.
Well, if you don't like Trump, why do you follow him on there to get upset about what he says? It's a bit like just having, like, you have 300 TV stations and just watching the one station.
Yeah.
I hate this show. Fucking hate it. I hate it. Change the channel. No, fucking hate this show. I'm going to keep watching it for another hour and just bitch about it. It's like, fucking hell, I don't get it. It's like, yeah, just move on, people. Don't let it affect you. It's like, don't follow the person. And like I said, I see stuff all the time. I always go, what a silly post, but I just keep scrolling.
Yeah.
I don't stop and let me have my say. I've got to have my opinion on this one. Another opinion. It's like, no, just keep scrolling. No one cares.
No, that's it. And like you said with Trump, at least when he posts something, it's actually written by him. Because I mean, how many times did Biden say
And
something?
I think
that
he
come
just
out
does it half the time to troll people too, because some of the
he's
stuff he puts
hilarious.
up, he knows what he puts up is going to get people going. So it's like,
he's hilarious. With this whole incitement of fear, could criticism of mass immigration, they could put that in there. So anyone sort of saying anything outside of what they like, they could just chuck you in prison technically.
Yeah.
So it's just that chipping
it's
away
too,
of our
it's too
freedoms.
vague. Like, it's so
way
vague
too
and
vague.
open. It's like, it can be like, its interpretation, if it's left to them, could be used for anything. So that's the scary thing.
Yeah, they don't let any good, catastrophe go to waste, mate. Like anything, they use it, they bring it in, and they strip your freedoms out of it. It just doesn't. I can't. The leadership we have in this country, I can't stand. But that being said, One Nation and Pauline Hanson have jumped up a lot in the polls recently.
Good to see. Good to see. Isn't it funny? Like, a lot of stuff, they said they labelled her a racist, but a lot of stuff she said 20 years ago has all come true. So, like I said, she's just a woman who loves the country, loves Australians. She was, fish and chip shop owner. She's just like a typical Aussie, and she has to me, she's almost like the Aussie version of Trump. She just says what's on her mind, but she doesn't. I've never really seen her being ever racist or rude to anyone. She's like, says what most people are thinking, but are too scared to say it. And then people come down on her for saying it. So it's crazy.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like you said, you've met her. I've met her before. I mean, obviously, in passing doesn't mean you know what a person is like. No. But she seemed very polite, very friendly. And a lot of the things she does say, I agree with. She just doesn't fucking sugarcoat it or beat around or... in this day and age where people are easily offended.
Well, last time I saw her, like I said, she came to a car show and she was there all day. She judged some of the cars. There would have been a couple of hundred cars. She went around to every car, took photos of people. Like I said, most politicians, they go places, they're in, they're out, quick photo op. She was there pretty much from the beginning of the car show to the awards type and all that, then a bit after that. So she hung out there all day with everybody, walking around, talking, doing stuff. So that says a lot too, because there are some who just show up for the 15 minutes, do what they have to do, and then piss off. You know, the camera crew comes in, gets the local news bite, and that's it. But no, she was there for at least 5 hours or more. So.
She just seems genuine, you know.
Yeah,
and
she
that's
does. Yeah,
like
and you can't put that on. You can't fake that.
Yeah,
so.
in
Not for this
politics,
amount
so
of time.
Rare. It's so rare. Yeah, for this exactly. She's been around since I was young.
Yeah.
Like,
normally, if you're a liar or you're fake, you get caught out in not long, because people start. Well, back here you said this, or you acted this way. When you've been around that long, and you're the same person you are 30 years ago, then you pretty much know who they are. So.
Look, if you're not going to like her or you're not going to like Trump, you know, people are entitled to their opinion, but at least they are who they are. You know, like with Kamala and bloody Biden and bloody Hillary.
They'll change every week, whatever the wind's blowing.
They just ooze that career politician phony bullshit, you know? Like, I don't understand how people get brought into it. But like I said, hey, man, like if someone... You know, if they like the politicians that I don't like, I'm not going to think any less of them.
I'm not going to be like, you're a fucking idiot for thinking that. I'd actually like to ask him, why do you like that person? Because seeing Kamala and Joe, they really had nothing brought to the table. Yeah. When she would talk, she'd just be like talking in circles, like, what the fuck's she on about? So, and then I'd be like, well, what's she like? And then, you know, like the old Charlie Kirk, change my mind type thing.
Yes, yeah.
Let's discuss this. Maybe you'll tell me something that I didn't see, and you might open my eyes up.
Yeah.
Rather than, as I said, now you can't even have debates or talk about it. People just yell at each other over stuff. It's ridiculous. So, you know, that's the sad thing these days. You know, you see it more with the Liberal. If someone's wearing a Trump hat, they just start screaming, going off. It's like, and if you go and ask them a question, they just start screaming or blowing a horn. It's like, why can't you just have a civil debate? We could learn from each other here, and we might have a lot more in common than we do differences. Yes, we might vote for different people, but in general, we might have a lot more in common. But they're never given the chance to speak to the other people, like just speaking, you know, politely to each other, just having a general conversation that just becomes a shouting match, screaming match, and then turns to violence. It goes nowhere.
Exactly. And like, if you're an adult and you have a meltdown over a fucking hat, like, there's something wrong with you.
I know.
I mean, like, I don't like Albanese. Like, I would say I really dislike Albanese.
Yeah.
And like, he's in the middle of, you know, stripping our freedoms away. Does that mean I'm going to have a meltdown if I see someone with an Albanese shirt on? Like, I might in my head think, oh, that's whatever. But I'm not going to, like, I'm an adult. You know what I mean? I'm not a child.
I'd probably even just have a joke. I'd probably be like, "Oh, great shirt," in a sarcastic way. I'd be like, "Oh, great shirt." I wouldn't be like, "Are you wearing that shirt, you idiot?" and try and rip them off him. It's like
okay. And like you said, it'd be interesting you can't even though. Like, I've tried, and then people they can't just eloquently and just calmly talk about their opinions.
Yeah.
They
get mad or just try to shut you down. It's like boom.
They just throw the buzzwords at you, and that means your argument doesn't mean anything because you're racist, you're a bad person. I'm like, well, my wife is an immigrant and she's Asian, you know, like, I don't care about that. But with that One Nation, like, because from what I've heard, that they're up to 23%, so they could be the second strongest party at the moment. But the only issue is within Australia is you got that preferential voting.
I know.
So that will I don't see the chances of any other party being able to compete because of the way our systems are set up. What's your opinions on that?
Yeah, I never understood our whole voting system and we still get that big, you go to vote and you get that big thing you put out here, and it's like so many either above the line or beneath the line, and you tick the boxes, one to here, there, or one there. Then if you don't do that, then the vote down here gets them. I'm like, oh my God, this is just too... Yeah. I think they're like trying to confuse us even more when you go in to vote, because like I said, Albanese got in, but even down here listening to talk radio, I haven't really heard of one person that voted for him. So I'm like, how the fuck did he get in? It's like...
It's just, I mean, the coalition just had a week. They just had a really poor showing for themselves because, like you said, a lot of people don't like Albo.
Aren't they meant to be going for leadership change today with was it the Liberals or whoever with that? What's her name? Neely or
a female. I can't remember her name.
yeah. Like there's two other guys who could be challenging her position now.
Yeah, it's just embarrassing. So I'll circle around to another question. You would have seen all the stuff going on with the Somalian daycares.
What time? Did you tell me what time it is right now? I can't see the clock.
Yeah, so it's 10:30 here.
Okay, it's 11:30. Okay, I got a couple more minutes. I got to go pick up the wife. So
yeah, well, I'll ask you about this one, or we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
So yeah, just with the Somalian daycares, it just really made me think. It really made me think of the NDIS and
the Leering Centre.
Yeah, exactly. The Leering Centre. It just made me think of the NDIS in Australia and like.
Oh my God, like that's being rorted. That's being rorted. I know. I got some friends that work for them, and they're like, Lee, I go to this job and I go there, and the guy gets so much from the government. He goes, oh, you don't even have to come today. He goes, I'm not going to leave the house, so I'll put you down that you're here for 10 hours. And he's on sometimes he's getting like $80 a fucking hour. I'm like, Jesus, I want your job. But yeah, just the money that goes into that and being rorted. And sadly too, it's like even with the Aboriginal getting 30 billion a year, and we've only 3% of the population is Aboriginal, if that. So a couple of 100,000, or was it 900,000 or so, probably Aboriginal. It's like there should be no bad health or schooling or anything for Aborigines if they're getting 30 billion, but it's been funneled off because remember that Jacinta Price, Aboriginal lady, she wanted to have an audit into it, and the Prime Minister, everyone said no because they would have been seeing where the money's going. It's not going where it should be allocated, and the same with the NDIS. That's the sad thing when you get these governments and people in who are just corrupt like that. Yes, it could start off as a good thing, but then people get in, they start we can work the system this way, funnel the money through here so it looks like it's going there, but it's going out the back door into some other thing. It's just disgusting the way that happens, and who suffers? The people who really need it, and us, the taxpayer, because our tax dollars are going places that shouldn't be going, and stuff that needs to be getting done is just not getting done. It's just like wasteful spending ever, and that goes for both sides, not just Labor, Liberal or Republican, Democrat. All sides in fucking government do it, and it's just fucking disgusting that they do that with the people's money,
And if the way we're going, maybe if we point it out in the future, that could be classified as fearful speech.
Oh, yeah, exactly,
we go to jail
exactly. You're trying to start something here. It's like,
how dare
by you saying that is making people hate on this party, and now we're getting death threats from your post.
You're going to jail. Oh, for fuck's sakes.
No, as long as the taxpayers' dollars are going to the jail, probably not. It's like there's probably another. But there's so many different things now, even with jails and private security firms now. It used to be like all government and that. Now they're getting private security firms that work at some of these jails. So you don't know what the fuck's happening half the time anymore.
Well, Lee, I really appreciate you taking the time.
No, thank you.
Thank you. A legend, and I think very highly of you, and it's great to see someone of your caliber out there speaking these things and saying a lot of the things we think and feel as well.
Oh, yeah. It's always good to read the comments. You're idiots. You don't know what you're talking about. I said that the Tren Twins and I did one the other day. The one I think they mentioned like religion. We just talked about whether there's a God we don't know. I said, maybe there's something, like I said, could be an alien. I'm sure there has to be something greater than us. I said, because if there isn't, we're fucked. If we're the highest intelligence, then we're doomed. So just saying that I didn't really believe. I didn't say I didn't believe in God. I just said it could be anything. It could be God, could be an alien. Oh, the amount of you don't know shit. I mean, these people are angry. If you don't accept God and this Savior into your life, you'll go nowhere. And how can you put it down? I said, for one, we didn't put it down. We just said it could be anything. We don't know. But because we weren't so into it like they were, the amount, like I said, from these people who are meant to be religious, the amount of hate, I'm like, Jesus, you're so hateful.
It's because I think a little bit of it is, intimidation, because you're threatening their beliefs by even saying anything negative against it, because they're pushing all their chips in on one thing. And I don't understand, right, how you want to close yourself off to the possibilities of anything else, if you're like, everything you ever need to know is in this text, and you don't have to
Mhm.
worry. Don't worry about any
Yeah.
of this stuff. Everything you need to know is here, and it's just it closes you off. And I
But
try
that's
to
like
be
even
open
like when it
minded.
comes to UFOs and aliens and other life, it's like you could say there isn't, but then the universe is like they say so big in different galaxies and stuff. I said to think that we're the only life form out there
Yeah.
would be pretty silly and naive. So
No, I
I
agree.
think there has to be something out there. There's probably other planets like ours,
Mm.
but these people say no, there isn't. This is the only planet. You're thinking that's pretty.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of proof to say otherwise. Or the flat. It reminds me of like the flat Earth. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
so what about all the pilots? They have to factor in the trajectory of the curvature of the
Mm.
Earth and all this sort of like.
But
There'd
have
have
you
to be a
ever
lot of
seen? I've
people in
actually
on
watched
it.
some of those. My friend's a flat earther,
Oh,
Jimmy the Bull. Jimmy the Bull. He's like, and like sometimes when I'm with him, he'll start talking about stuff, and I'll actually be like, that actually makes sense, really. And I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking, I start thinking, I know it's not flat, but what he's saying does sort of make sense. So
yeah,
I said, when it comes to that, I'm like, who the fuck knows? Because we just believe the bullshit we're told. So if we're being told this and that, and you hear other stories of that Admiral Byrd that went to Antarctica and Operation, was it High Jump or Paperclip or one of those where they were going down there, and he said he found a different world inside Antarctica when he flew over and his plane was controlled
I
and
think I
it
did
was
watch
all
that. Yeah,
green grass. So I'm
yeah,
thinking, and he's the most decorated admiral ever
yeah.
in American history. I'm thinking, but he doesn't seem like a nut job or a liar. So it's like, and then some of these people that do find out this stuff suddenly vanish and die.
Yeah,
Oh, now just
yeah,
the crackpot. Okay,
yeah,
if he's a crackpot, when he died, why did the FBI take all his files and stuff? It's like, why
yeah.
wouldn't you just, it's like,
It's
so
the
it
same.
makes you wonder. Like I said, I like to keep an open mind to
Yeah,
anything. So.
it reminds me of like with the cars that can run on water and all
Oh
this
yeah,
sort of
that
stuff, and
guy
they
did. Remember
disappoint.
that guy? I watched the thing on him the
Yeah,
other day. The first guy that did that,
yeah,
and he was meeting with someone, and he was at a cafe. It was like on this show I was watching it at a cafe somewhere, and he ate something, and he just started choking and ran outside and said, "They poisoned me.
mm,
They poisoned me," and he ended up dying. And then the government come in and took all his patents and everything
yeah.
and locked
That's
him
right.
away. They lock him under the national security thing, so no one
Yeah,
can ever get to him. So
it's
it's like,
always really odd. Yeah, I
I know.
agree. But yeah, again, I really appreciate you taking the time, Lee.
Yeah, thank you.
I think very highly of you, and it means a lot for you to take the time for this.
No, not a problem. Thank you very much.
And for all the lads out there, we appreciate you sticking around for another episode. And until next time, and
Yes.
you have a great day, Lee.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye.